Hi class. All right, for this lesson, we're going to continue working with reading voice and thinking voice. Remember, reading voice is just the voice that we read something in. We're reading the book, we're going blah, 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 blah. The witches came into the auditorium and they sat down and they all had a meeting. Thinking voice, remember, is the whisper in the back of your head that's talking to your reading voice. And it tells you, or it makes connections. Or it's you thinking about, oh, I've read that somewhere before. Oh, yeah. It's a whisper. You have to listen for it. They talk to each other. Thinking voice talks to reading voice. Reading voice talks to thinking voice. Reading voice says, hey, we went to Norway, or they're going to Norway. Oh, I've read about Norway in another book. That's what it's like. Or, oh, I read about the witches in another chapter. What were the signs? What did a witch look like again? What did Grandma say a witch looked like? So the two voices work together to help understand what a text is saying. It also applies to words. If you come across a word you don't know, you read it and you go, I don't know what that word means. I've never heard that word before in my life. Thinking voice says, oh, it's in this context, it's used this way in the sentence, so it must mean this. It's using your context clues. Today, however, I'm going to introduce the third voice, and some of you may remember it from last year. Distracting voice! How can you tell distracting voice is distracting just by looking at the graphic? How many of you guys know I love comics, right? I mean, you've seen my Robin tattoo. Nightwing is my favorite superhero. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Look at this. It's the boom, distracting voice. And distracting voice is the thing that interrupts you while you're reading. And I'm going to model distracting voice as well as model the other two. So we have our three voices here. Reading voice and thinking voice are the two that you want to listen to, especially thinking voice. But distracting voice, that comes into play. And we got to try to fight it and suppress it. So for today's book, for displaying the voices, I'm not going to do it with the witches because I don't want to distract from the witches. I'm just going to use reading voice and thinking voice for the witches. But for this book, for this read aloud, is this book, I love it. It's called The Secret Science Project That Almost Ate the School. And I'm going to show you the different voices in action here, especially thinking or distracting voice. So The Secret Science Project That Almost Ate the School by Judy Sierra with pictures by Stephen Gammell. I was grumpy, I was grouchy, I was slouching in my chair. I was thinking grim and gloomy thoughts about the science fair. Why is she thinking? Why gloomy thoughts about the science fair? Now, science can be tough. That reminds me of a science show I once watched, and they were doing a lot of... Oh, I'm reading, aren't I? Oops. Miranda bragged her rocket ship could travel to the moon. Alexander taught his hamster how to sing a tune. The ants on Mary's ant farm were growing corn and peas, and Kevin Fink was on the brink of curing a disease. Those are some smart kids. I don't know if I could even compete with them. What's for lunch? Did the teachers tell me what was for lunch? Did the news say what was for lunch? Wait a sec, what am I doing? I'm hungry. Is it lunchtime yet? Miss Fidget looked me in the eye. I wish that I could hide. What will your project be, she asked. It's secret, I replied. Secret, secret, I got a secret. The secret was, I didn't really have a project yet. I've been there before. I've waited to the last minute on several projects. I needed an experiment that no one would forget, so I stayed up late and found a great one on the internet. Oh, I love the internet. There's so much great stuff on there. I was Googling this thing the other day and I figured out how to... back to my reading. A science project fully guaranteed to win first prize. A substance so amazing, judges won't believe their eyes. A mutant yeast with just a piece of dragon DNA. Professor Swami's Super Slime. Order yours today. Ooh. Are you gooey? Famous blobs, history of slime, sticky stories? So she found slime on the internet. I sent the money instantly, then early Friday morning a box appeared. It looked so weird with big green letters. And the box says, it might be hard for you guys to see it there. Warning, your super slime is sensitive, so handle it with care. Keep it safe inside the box until the science fair. Then feed it sugar till it swells 1,000 times in mass. Stand back as it erupts into a harmless cloud of gas. I popped the lid and gave the slime a teeny tiny poke. It started getting bigger. It growled and blew off smoke. That's a scary sounding slime. Yeah, this one time I made slime and it was the coolest slime ever. I used shaving cream and all this stuff and oh my gosh, Mr. Royans, it was the greatest thing ever. It catapulted from the box and splattered on the floor, precisely as Sir Scratch-A-Lot stepped through the kitty door and plopped his paws in mutant muck. He rudely hissed and spat. Yikes! The secret science project ate my cat. I don't think this science project's gonna go great. Is that your stupid science project? Asked my sister Kate. Stop, I said, you'll hurt its feelings. Oops, it was too late. The slime began to spin around. It rose into the air, and when it roared and hit the floor, my sister wasn't there. My sister came and talked to me the other day, and she was so annoying. Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe it. Oh, sorry. The slime is eating everybody. Just then I heard my father's voice. What's going on in there? Something in that bedroom smells like moldy underwear. My science project's sensitive, I warned. Don't make it mad. There wasn't time to stop the crime. The slime ingested Dad. Ingested. This is what I was talking about, guys. The word ingest. That's a good word. But what does it mean to ingest something? I'm using my thinking voice, talking to my reading voice. Ingest. Well, the slime was going around eating stuff, so maybe ingest means it ate. The science project looked at me. I thought I saw it drool. I tried to run away, but yikes! It followed me to school. Miss Fidget shouted, Ew, what is that big disgusting creature? The slime stopped short and gave a snort and ate my third grade teacher. Third grade? I was in third grade last year. Yeah, it was fun. I didn't do a whole lot of work, but I kind of sat there, I hung out with my friends. Oh, that's not what we're doing right now. It grew larger by the minute as it swallowed Alexander and incorporated Kevin Fink and Mary and Miranda. As the slime was busy slurping up the last of Mary's ants, I remembered the instructions in the pockets of my pants. Pants, ants, pockets. What's for lunch? Sugar, I commanded. Feed that hungry slime some sweets. Kids reached in their backpacks. Soon the air was filled with treats, as donuts flew and cookies too, and candy bars and gum. The bloated blob was quick to gobble every single crumb. What kind of school is this where they can have those kind of treats in class? I shook a can of soda pop and sprayed the growing slime until I could tell that it had swelled at least 1,000 times. "Now everybody hide!" I screamed. Ka-flaz, ka-flam, ka-flew! It vanished in a stupefying burst of CO2. When the dust had cleared away, my dad was up a tree. My teacher dangled from the roof. We all were on TV. "Sir Scratch-a-Lot," I called and called. "What happened to my cat?" "He's on your head," my sister said, pretending he's a hat. I want to wear a hat. My project didn't win first prize, and that was fair, I guess. Miss Fidget kept me after school to clean up all the mess, and underneath the cookie bits and sugary debris, I saw a goopy glob of slime, and yikes! It winked at me. I think that means it's still around. The end. So, guys, the thing to think about, you have to keep distracting voice to a minimum. You have to fight it. Because even when I was reading that and I would switch to my distracting voice, just as an example, I'd lose my place. And I'd have to like, take a split second in my head, like, where was I? Oh, yeah. So distracting voice takes away from what your reading voice and thinking voice are trying to do. So you have to do your best to keep it at a minimum. I know you get hungry, and I know that there's some other things you'd rather be doing. But you do have an advantage over the kids at school in that if you are hungry and it's distracting, you can get a snack. You can read while you eat. Or, you know, if there's somebody's being loud, you can move to another room and maybe read in silence. So you can kind of keep those distracting voices to a minimum. All right. I hope you enjoyed that book. It's a good book. Think about your distracting voice and what it means to you.